Okay, I'm here with Ian Rubenstein. He was our president for Club Senate on the PCC campus this past semester, last semester when I was the Club Senate rep. I guess you did it this semester too?
Yeah, it's a one-year academic. It's one academic year. Yeah, the position is one academic year, so fall and spring.
Awesome, awesome. I know there were a lot of, I wouldn't say obstacles, but
Challenges?
road bumps. Yes, challenges. Okay, I was going to say road bumps in the road during the semester I was in there. Did any of those get settled or?
Yeah, I mean, the truth is that there's always going to be hurdles at the PCC campus. The PCC campus is much younger and much smaller, both in size and in population than the LAC campus. So the opportunities here have not grown the way they have at LAC. But I think we did a good job this year working hard to try to increase that and to bring more attention to the PCC campus. Our attendance has increased over the last year. Our charters have, the number of charters we had increased over the last year.
Great.
And we also now have a full-time administrator in Dr. Paul Creason on the PCC campus. So he's worked really hard with me and ASB to make sure that the PCC campus is represented in the same way that the LAC campus is.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I think we've already seen some progress, and I think we're going to continue to see nothing but progress in the next couple years.
That's encouraging. That's very encouraging to hear. What would you say was the most challenging?
I think the most challenging is that the students don't necessarily believe you when you tell them that things are getting better. So they have these preconceived notions of what is and what's gonna be, and so
Right.
they're unwilling to try something different. It's hard because one of the things that we encountered is that there isn't a real student life time for students to be able to take a break from classes and actually participate in student activities. And about 20 years ago they used to have an office hour or a college hour where they could there were no classes, there was nothing going on, and so you had a captive audience of students on campus, whereas now you get students for 10 minutes here and 15 minutes there.
Right.
And it makes doing any kind of activities or any kind of events really difficult. I'm happy to say that I have worked really hard, myself and a few other members of the ASB cabinet have worked really hard over the last year with some of the administrators and some of the faculty leaders, and we are actually going to have a college hour brought back in the fall
Yes.
of 2020.
Yes.
So it will be one more full year
good.
without it. But yes, we will be in effect fall of 2020. It's already passed the Board of Trustees, and we're just
Dude,
waiting,
high five, man.
just
You
waiting to get
got that
things-
done.
Mhm.
You,
We're
of
just
all people,
waiting
got
to
that
get
done.
things implemented on the chancellor level. But yeah.
Yeah, we in the radio, especially the radio part of the radio and television department, we really wanted that so that we could go out there and play music, and do whatever we could to promote our
Yeah.
department, because there's just not a lot of promotion for any of the departments, I've noticed.
There isn't, and it's it's one of those things where unfortunately the faculty and administration basically has said to us, if you want to promote it, go promote it. That's one of the aspects that they're not super willing to help out with. Logistical things though, like college hour and administration on this campus and equal opportunities on both campuses, things like that, they're all on board. They've invited ASB cabinet members into all their district subcommittees, so a lot of us sit on subcommittee meetings and give input every single week.
Right.
We've created task force over the last year and a half since Dr. Ramali has taken over, and I think you're going to see a lot of good changes in the next couple of years that are very student focused.
I would like to talk to him, because there's been a program I've been trying for the last year now to get implemented on campus. One day out of the clear blue, I went to the student health over on the LAC campus, and I said, what if somebody comes in and wants to be tested for STIs or HIV? And she says, well, I think we've got a card here somewhere. She pulls down like this little shoebox and pulls out a card. And it was for the health department. And nobody wants to go to the health department when it comes to something like that. I said, why don't you have a proactive campaign for get tested, know your status, on campus? Just some alarming statistics have just come out about an increase in syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia in the city of Long Beach. And if there's an increase in the city of Long Beach, it's going to involve a lot of students. And if students don't have a way of knowing where they can go get tested and treated, it's going to prolong it, and
Yeah, absolutely.
it increases in infection. And I even introduced them to gentlemen over at the gay center here in Long Beach because they do free testing and counseling, and they were going to talk to me, but I don't think anything's even come about it. And I don't know. I guess they once a month, I guess they bring a trailer here on this campus for free testing, but they can't out at LAC, and I think it has something to do maybe with that campus being sort of like on the borderline of Long Beach and Lakewood. And
yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know the answer to
Yeah.
the question, and I don't know what the legal needs are to get that into the health center on campus.
Yeah.
I don't know if that requires an MD, which we do not have
Right,
on campuses. But it's certainly something that should be addressed. It's certainly something that can be brought up.
Yeah.
If you bring it to ASB's attention, it's certainly something we can push forward.
yeah, because I when I first started here, I said I want to leave this campus, this school, hopefully with a degree, and leave the legacy that they've started a campaign for get tested, know your status. That would make me happy, knowing that they've at least putting forth an effort. Anything else you want to bring up, and what's coming up for you in the future?
More classes. More legislative meetings. Honestly, I don't know what's next. I'm going to take the summer. I'm going to finally decompress a little bit. It's been a very long year, both academically and legislatively. But, I'm going to take the summer. I'm going to relax a little bit, and then we'll game plan again next year. I still have 1 year left on this campus, so hopefully I can find some more projects to push forward before I leave.
I was doing 12 units last semester, doing 13 this, and I've already signed up for next fall, 17 units next fall. But as far as I know, I'm getting another 4.0 this semester. I made the dean's list.
You're young. You can still do that.
Yeah. I turned 65 in February, dude. That is not young. And that makes it even harder trying to do it. But I got asked to join Phi Theta Kappa Honor
nice.
Society. And I just found out Monday that I won one of the scholarships that we applied for last semester, So,
Awesome.
oh, we got a fashion
We got
show
a fashion
going.
show going on. So I'm gonna sign out. I'm gonna let you go.
All right.
Film
Thank
the
you,
fashion
Ian.
show.
Thank you so much.
very much.
Okay, Ian Rubenstein, he was our president for Club Senate on the PCC campus here. Why don't you tell us a little about this event?
Absolutely. Well, we've been working on the CTE night for the past several months in preparation for the relaunch of the trades. We have about 40 programs that are going to be going live as of fall 19. We've got revamped curriculum. We've got revamped certifications. We've got revamped degrees. We've been really conscious and cognizant on structuring the certificates as well as the degrees for easy entry and easy exit in a very short amount of time. We understand that many individuals in the community of Long Beach, their focus is to gain employment as soon as possible. What we're doing here today is really a celebration of all that work. It's bringing together close to 28 programs that encompass CTE. It's a vast umbrella, and we provide a lot of opportunities for our students to impact their quality of life. So very exciting. It's one thing to plan an event, but then when it comes to fruition and you're actually at the event, and to see all these wonderful people from faculty to classified employees to you name it, just coming together in support of the wonderful institution we call Long Beach City College. It's an amazing experience to be a part of. So for those out there that are watching, please, we're here from 4 to 8 p.m. today. We have free food that's being cooked by our culinary program. So we've got professional, future chefs and future entrepreneurs putting together good eats. We got amazing music. As you just observed earlier, we got an amazing fashion show. I mean,
Ian and I both.
We've got a car show going on, classics, resto mods, you name it. Yeah. So there's something for everybody. So that, in a nutshell, that's what's going on right now.
I'm so glad that I got into the radio and television program. I was telling people out in TV land, streaming land, when I was talking just before Ian came on. I was 64 years old, and I decided, what better time to go back to school, right?
Absolutely.
Because I had never gone further than high school.
Okay.
Graduated from high school, and I was all gung-ho on going for medical assisting and phlebotomy.
Okay.
Because I wanted to get state certified to do HIV, STI testing and counseling. And you have to be certified by the state, because if you're presenting bad news to a patient or a client, you've got to know how to handle it mentally, so that they don't leave from getting the diagnosis and jumping off the cliff, or something. And the first week of school, oh man, it was so hard for me, because the instructors kept saying, now you don't want this to stay in your short-term memory, you want it to get in the long-term memory. And I'm going, I can't even get it to stay in the short-term memory, let alone get to the long-term memory. And the first week of school, I had medical terminology. And Patty Bucco, she says, now you're going to learn about 7,000 words this semester. I'm like, you don't know me. As a kid, I had such a hard time in school. And it was in the early 60s. Okay. They didn't know ADD or ADHD back then.
Right.
And I would always hear the teacher tell my mother, if he just apply himself. And I know I'm trying my damnedest, And I'd get so depressed and so frustrated. And I didn't, I didn't want to go back to school. And I finally did, but that first week, it was killer. And it was Labor Day weekend, came up, and I had a full-fledged panic attack, because I'm thinking, I had taken 3 shortcut courses in the summer, 2 counseling courses and kinesiology PF.
Okay.
And I got an A in all of those.
Excellent.
So I thought, I'm starting off with a 4.0, So then I'm going, well, this is going to blow that all to waste,
Right.
So I sat down with the catalog, and I'm thinking, what else can I take? I couldn't drop. That was not an option, to just drop out and give up. And I saw communications, and I've been speaking to students at Cal State Long Beach on HIV and nutrition.
Okay.
Because I'm a long-term survivor, living with it for 27 years.
Oh, congratulations.
And our dietitian goes out, because they cover that subject in the dietary department once a semester.
Okay.
And they always have Tammy, our dietitian, come out, and they asked her 3 semesters ago, do you have a client you could bring? And she says, I know the perfect person. And the first time we went, we spoke to 3 classes. They were so receptive and so interested and so appreciative. I came out of there feeling this high,
Right.
And I thought, this is a blast. I love doing this. And I've since spoken to 6 classes now. I just 2 weeks ago spoke again, and same thing, same reception and everything. And I was a guest on their radio show for Foodology at 22 West. And moving forward, so last semester, I also saw radio, have your own radio show. I'm like, who doesn't want to be a DJ and have their own radio show? So I signed up for it, and I came out with a 4.0 last semester.
Amazing.
And made the dean's list. I got the certificate. Been invited by Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society.
Oh, wow.
I was telling Streamland, the only dean's list I ever made was for detention, because I didn't get what was going on, you know. So I was always in trouble. And I just found out Monday that the scholarships that we applied for last semester, I won a scholarship too.
Oh man, that's great. That's great. Wow.
You know, I mean, it has been the best year I could ever imagine. I turned 65 in February,
man,
you know,
that's
and it's like
you're
going
living a
forward.
new life.
Yeah, and I love this radio and television department, and they don't get enough advertisement because we're out on the LAC. Most of these are here on this campus, you know, and we need to find a way to get people more interested. You
Without
know?
a doubt.
We got to fill those classes out there. We got to get those radio programs. We have so much dead airtime now on our radio shows. We need to fill every time slot, you know?
Absolutely. I think you keyed in on something a lot of your listeners right now can relate to. Your experience here at LBCC allowed you to find something that you're passionate about.
Yes.
And I think with CTE, that is what we're trying to share with the community of
You
Long
help
Beach at
develop
large.
the students to find that passion.
Without a doubt. And so that's the wonderful thing about an event like this and just the programs that we've worked really hard to bring forth. We want to give opportunities to students, not just for the sake of getting employment, but the sake of finding something that they're passionate about, because when they're passionate about it, then it doesn't seem like work. And hopefully that passion is going to turn into something that, one, will impact their quality of life, but two, it will impact the community at large.
Exactly.
And a stronger community makes, you know, all the difference. And so I am so happy to learn of your story and your journey, because more people need to hear about that. And what started out from a presentation you made from a few classes to now a viable, you have a platform to share and for folks to make connections with you and learn about everything that's going on here at Long Beach.
I
So
think
that's amazing.
That's kind of the direction I want to move in, because with Cal State Long Beach, speaking to those students, you know, about my personal experiences, and the thing is, they love when they know that they're transparent and they can believe every word they're saying. You know, when I get up there, I say I'm totally transparent. You can ask me any question you want. I will most likely answer it. I said I have to apologize ahead of time when they drop the F-bomb a couple times, you know.
Right.
But as long as it's not on the air, I'm okay, you know.
Right.
But yeah, it's been a blast, and I think that's the direction, because if my story can help one student say, oh my God, that's me, you know, I'm going through that, or I went through that, to me that would mean the world, you know. That would be true validation for me. I don't know if I want to just go for the certificates or if I want to go for the
Love of learning.
Well, that's not what I was going to say. No, for the AA, the associate's degree to transfer.
Okay,
you know,
great. Yeah, that's a great plan. So
but
options.
But the math is the one thing.
Is that the barrier for you?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I've had 3 semesters now of 4.0,
Okay.
and
You've been hiding out from the math experience.
yeah,
You know what I'm also happy to report, and hopefully this will give you a sense of comfort, is a lot of the decision and policy making that goes on at the levels of committees that I'm able to participate and take part of, they understand that's a genuine and valid experience for many students like yourselves. And you know, with AB 705, it's they're really working hard to enhance the curriculum, to build in those supports. So it's not an experience where you have to take this like huge amount of unit class in order to meet that requirement. So if this is any comfort to you, I feel like we've got quality folks that want your success. We have a math center at the LAC campus to get you that additional support. So face that, if I could label it, fear, and address it head on, because I feel like with the passion that you have, your life experience and what you've been through, that you're going to come out on the positive end of that. So,
And I may have a degree by 70.
hey, you know, you'll have it though, right? Nonetheless.
Really.
Nonetheless.
Really.
So that's great. That's great, and that's what we're really working very diligently to make sure students like yourselves have that positive and successful experience.
Another thing that I noticed on campus since
Okay.
I've been coming, all the pamphlets, all the flyers, Be a Viking and everything,
Right.
they're all like 18, 20-year-olds.
Okay.
You got a lot of seniors that are going back to school, dude.
Right.
You need to represent us seniors too on your media.
Absolutely, and we've been working very hard. That's a great point you made. We've worked very closely with our communications department over the past year. As you can see, if you go up and down the aisles here on all the CTE programs, they actually have marketing and promotional material. I'll tell you, I'll rewind 6 months ago, and that was not the
Yeah,
case.
right.
So we've worked really hard to do that. On top of that, to connect to what you were stating earlier, we've worked very hard to revamp our website. We know that that's our presence. That's how a majority of the students are going to first get that first experience with LBCC is through our website. So we've worked very hard to enhance the images, the actual navigation, making it more student friendly, so it's not 1,000 clicks to get to whatever your goal or pursuit is from a degree or a certificate program. It's all right there. You've got the contact people on if you have additional questions, where to go, website links, you name it. So and I really believe the images that you're going to see when we relaunch, when we launch our websites, you'll see the demographic, the diversity in the student population is going to be represented on that website to include, you know, our older, you know, population as well.
Do you know, do they use just stock photos, or are they going to start using actual students?
Absolutely. So at one time, I believe that was the traditional practice with stock photos. But
It is with everything. Our healthcare, for advertising where I get my healthcare.
Right.
And we raised Cain about it because the stock photos weren't representing the majority of the clients.
Absolutely. So with that said, we're working very closely with Stacy Toda, Joshua Castellanos, who's you know, our communications department. And as you can see, if you're looking around, we have the photographers from the communications department out there shooting photo. You know, we're streaming online to show an accurate representation of our population. So you will see that moving forward starting in fall 19.
Okay.
So to answer your question.
I have one other question.
Sure.
Now, if you can't answer it,
Okay.
I understand.
Not a problem.
What the hell has gone on with that design out in front, the landscaping and everything?
Okay, well, you know,
Did they run out of money, or
right. Every process, as far as from a facility standpoint, this is a large project.
Right.
You'll notice we're scheduled in 2020 to totally demolish it and really construct a 21st century state-of-the-art facility. And landscaping aside or included, that's something that's a phase, right, or phases.
Right.
So I believe, you know, in the next few years, you will see an accurate representation of the high level that LBCC has to offer to the community at large.
Because I was taking the summer course when they were starting the whole deal out there.
Right.
And I thought, oh, this is going to look pretty good. Then all of a sudden, it's like this huge bed of rocks that's just set there. And I'm like, are they going to put a fountain in?
Okay.
What, you know?
Right.
And I thought that's weird. Then they put up the weird metal fencing that looks like prison system, like
Okay.
an electrical fence,
Right,
you know?
right.
And I'm thinking, oh, that's not good. Then they had that orange plastic stuff
Okay.
that was
Right.
and now it looks like half the plants are dying. And
Okay.
that's why I wondered if
Yeah, we're working really hard. I believe you know, our horticulture program and the students will. That's a great project, right? Like
Yeah.
a rehab of an actual habitat. And so, what better place to do that than here in LBCC? So, it may not be the most appealing at this current time, but look for it as an opportunity for our students to really, you know, dig in and change the look of the landscape, literally.
I hope I didn't put you on the
No,
spot
no,
on that
not at
one.
all, not at all. That's quite all right. I mean, these are valid concerns, and this is the experience that students spend from Monday through Thursday, sometimes Friday, and you want to have an environment that leads to something that's going to give a sense of positivity, right? After all, and beautify it. And if you look down the line here, there's a lot of drought-tolerant landscaping that's been implemented, and then I believe that will move its way on over to the horticulture area as well.
One other question.
Sure.
I don't know. Does either campus have like a cosmetology?
A cosmetology, I don't believe we offer a cosmetology program. So, maybe that's something, if there's a demand there, that could be something we look at.
The only reason I wondered is we have our final project coming up next Thursday in Mr. Petke's class, RTV 13, and we have to put on a 10-minute like video live where we're videotaping it, and we chose to do like live breaking news.
Okay.
And how it goes about in a TV studio and everything, and try and add a little comedy in.
Right.
And I'm trying to get made up, with makeup.
Yes.
Just where it's overdone like most of the TV
okay.
news anchors have.
A little enhanced.
And I wanted to shave this part of my mustache off, darken this, and get a wig that matches the brown color, and kind of do like a Ron Burgundy type character.
I love that idea.
Where I'm not I'm broke, dude. I can't afford to go buy that, and I was hoping there were maybe students.
Well, you know what? I think we may not have cosmetology, but one maybe resource or option you could look into, hey, reach out to the folks in fashion. You just saw this fashion show, folks.
That's a great idea.
And they were all beautifully made up, so I'm sure they've got that in their wheelhouse to help you out. And bring Ron Burgundy to life.
Really.
There we go.
So what was your first name?
My name is Anthony. Anthony Pagan. I'm the Associate Dean of CTE here at Long Beach City College. So we're super excited.
I remembered the Pagan. I hadn't caught the
first name. Yeah. Not a problem. Like I said, I'm glad I had the opportunity to speak with you today.
You're very young to have the position you have here.
Well, I look younger than I am, so I'll take it. I found the fountain of youth. I won't. We'll keep that between us.
Okay.
But thank you. Yes. I was a full-time faculty member here for 5 years before coming on board to the administrative side. Prior to that, I spent about a decade in K through 12 working for Los Angeles Unified School District. So education's in my blood.
Oh, you are old, dude.
Yeah, well, there you go. So I just hide it well. So this has been it's been an amazing journey, and I was fortunate enough to be part of an amazing program, Computer Office Studies here at LBCC, and we're doing amazing things, and we continue to be trendsetters as far as innovative approach to education. And I had the opportunity to take that experience with that department and hopefully disseminate that out and share that out with the rest of the programs here in CTE. I got to give a big shout out to Gene Carbonaro. He's been the energy, the catalyst in what you see today, in the acceptance of the new curriculum. You name it, we're everywhere. We're bouncing back and forth between campuses. We're out at regional consortium meetings. We're involved with Strong Workforce. We're capitalizing on Perkins funding to really enhance these programs. Automotive is on the rise. It's going to be an opportunity for community members to take the automotive program, get their ASE Master Mechanic certification, and go out there and get a job. Advanced transportation, we hired our first full-time faculty since the program was discontinued back in 2012. You name it, welding, horticulture, advanced manufacturing, advanced transportation, COS, child development, fashion and consumer studies, culinary arts. That's how vast this umbrella is, and that's the level of involvement we've had. Some programs have been maintaining and been flourishing for years, and others needed that a little assistance that former faculty members understand what it takes from a curriculum standpoint, standpoint, from the standpoint of resources to really build a program, build something that's successful, be able to market that program, and to hopefully bring it to the community. And so we're at this is the apex right now with this celebration. And then, like I said earlier, fall 19, we're going live. We hope, anybody who's listening, if you're not enrolled, please get online, lbcc.edu.
I told you.
We're here. We're here to support you. Your success is our success. And we're just happy to be here, happy to service you, the amazing community of Long Beach.
And some of those requirements that you need to get those degrees, you can take a radio and television class to fill that.
There you go.
That need,
what a concept, right? I love that. And, I'm having a blast. I could do this all day with you.
Really,
So,
if you're out at LAC campus before the end of the semester, stop in.
Absolutely.
Say hi to me. My radio show is on Mondays 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
okay.
in KCTY. That's a
Excellent.
plug.
There you go. There you go. So just another shameless plug. We're here at the PCC campus. We're on PCH and Orange. 4 to 8 tonight. Be here or be square.
And there's free food.
Free food. and come have your life changed. Really, that's what we're all about. We're about changing lives, and what better way to do that than getting a quality education with quality faculty, quality classified employees, quality student body. You name it, it's just top notch. One other plug: we are a Center of Academic Excellence for our cyber program. We're one of 3 community colleges in all of California that have received that designation. So, we're top notch.
Can they boost the Wi-Fi signal in the G building
Hey,
over at
I'll
IC?
put a call in for you. Not a problem. Consider it done.
Thank
All
you
right,
again,
my
man.
friend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
I
all you
appreciate
do,
it.
and thank you for
Thank
your
you.
contribution for our
Thank you.
campus.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
All right, you too.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the rest of the today.
Hey, thank you.
All right. If you've been thinking about going back to school, do it. What can it hurt? I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I did. Ooh. Oh.
Sorry, I got sidetracked there.
And so we are back with Mr. Hirsch, the head of the radio and television department at the LAC campus of Long Beach City College in Long Beach. Long Beach? Long Beach. So what do we have coming up exciting in the next semester for radio and television?
Well, I think there's a couple of new classes that are going to be offered that are kind of designed for this this new, pretty popular degree that we have, which is a transfer degree. So, as you well know, there's the program is kind of designed for a bunch of different kinds of students. Some students just want to get a certificate in radio television so they can grab what they need to know and get out in the workforce and work at a radio station or work at a television station, or maybe produce their own videos and get them on YouTube. More of an entrepreneurial type approach. And then the next level up from a certificate would be an AA, which is an associate's degree, and that involves all the hands-on stuff in the radio television program, like radio classes and TV classes, and learning, behind the scenes in terms of the operational aspects of the radio and television cameras and audio consoles, all those things you need to know to be a professional in the radio television industry, whether you want to work on a television show, or you want to produce your own show, or direct your own show, or have your own radio show, or your own podcast, that kind of thing. So the associate's degree includes all those hands-on classes from our program, plus a lot of the what they call general ed requirements, like your math and your science and all those dull kind of things.
Which is why I was going to go for a certificate.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Because of the math. I English, no problem. I can write essays up the yin-yang.
Yeah.
Reading, I'm at college level reading, so I don't have to do anything there. But the math, I tested at 815. They don't offer math 815. They consider it a remedial math.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the only thing that would stop me from going for the degree. But what am I going to do with a certificate? I mean, sure, I'm not going to get hired anywhere. I'll be 66, 67 by the time I get the certificate, know. And I didn't take this for a job. I mean, I took it because I couldn't survive in the medical assisting, and it's like, now what do I do,
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of, entrepreneurial type things you can do.
Right.
You know, I mean,
Well-
look at YouTube. YouTube, I don't think has an age thing. You got to be under 18 to do YouTube.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of wackos that are 14, 15 that are doing YouTube, and you got to, you know, you look at YouTube, it's got everybody. You got 100-year-old housewives doing YouTube. You know, so it really doesn't make any difference. You can make your own life. You know, in your own build within your
Right.
own universe. You know more about that than any other of the students that,
Right.
that I'm involved with.
And what I wanted to ask you is, are there any plans to bringing in education on podcasts? Podcasts are taking off like crazy.
Sure
you
they
know?
are. Yeah. No, you're
and-
right.
And
You're right.
We don't do anything at the present time on,
Well,
on
I think.
podcasts. And
Well, doesn't Ken do some
not that
podcast production?
Not that I know of.
All right. Well, you know.
I mean,
Well, maybe in I'll tell you right now in RTV 21, which is going to be offered for the first. You asked
Right.
me about this whole
Right, I'm taking
conversation
that.
started in terms of what classes and what exciting things are going on. RTV 21, which is relatively a new class offering, it's called Radio Production. Not only will it enable you to have your own radio show, which a lot of students just want to be able to take a radio class so they can have their own show, which is exciting. He's got his own show now. He's doing great, right?
Mondays
We're
at 10 a.m.
That's right. That's right. That was a selfless plug. That's what they call a selfless plug in the industry. But within that class, I'm sure he's going to get into podcasts. Because, I mean, as you will know, I mean, I hear advertisements all the time about podcasts, especially on, iHeartRadio.
Oh, right.
You know,
and
and-
on KTLA,
Yeah.
half the
Yeah.
news anchors have
That's right.
podcasts.
That's
even
right.
even the news director, Jason Ball, I think his name is.
Yeah.
He has his own podcast. And
Yeah.
it's the director's chair or
Yeah.
the director's desk or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, when you really think about it, I mean, all a podcast is a pre-recorded
like this.
show. Yeah, I mean, this particular show that we're on right now is live streamed, but it will be available. We don't call it a podcast, but it will be available for playback through the college website. So if you were to go on to Long Beach City College, it's not going to say, the Dan Rafferty podcast, but you'll see a picture of Dan Rafferty, and you can be able to click on it, and it'll be a playback of this.
Right.
So it just the word podcast, maybe we should use more in terms of our curriculum in terms of teaching it, but we're involved in podcasts all the time anyway.
I like the term live streaming.
Well, yeah,
That's just-
there's a bunch of buzzwords in this industry, and live streaming is one, podcast is another. So if you talk about podcasts and you talk about live streaming, it sounds like you're talking about something unique that's only within the industry. But it's quite simple. What's a podcast? It's a recorded radio show.
Yeah, exactly.
But you'll learn how to do more of that in terms of producing and editing that show. So if you want a specific 30-minute podcast, you'll learn on software in RTV21 to be able to edit that show.
Oh.
So that's probably the biggest difference.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Oh, yeah,
now
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
really excited
Yeah.
about taking
Yeah.
RTV21 next semester.
Yeah. I think they use Audacity, which is a free program.
Yes,
So,
I
yeah.
just downloaded it on my laptop yesterday.
You'll be off and running if you know how to work that, and you'll be.
I did print up the manual.
There you go. That's it.
So I
That's
can
it.
learn how to use it.
That's it. Or you could maybe you could get a podcast on how to learn Audacity. They
Really?
probably have a podcast
Really?
on that.
Really?
Yeah, they have a podcast on everything.
Well, I know that, I don't know what name he goes by. I know him as JC,
Right.
the
Yeah.
DJ mixologist, whatever you want to call him.
Right.
Yep. He was talking about wanting to get an education program going in on teaching students that want to become a DJ in the like the clubs on
Right.
the mathematics and the technique in mixing music.
Sure.
It's not you just put one record on, because I did it for 20 years in the
Yeah.
clubs too.
Yeah.
It's not just put one record on and another one and they just hope they blend together.
Right.
It's you got to know when to bring your next music
Sure.
in, and you've got to match the beats.
Yeah,
per
there's an
minute.
art to there's an
it's-
art to it for sure. Yeah.
And I think that's a great idea. I would love to be in on that.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, we just put in for a VITEA grant, which is Vocational Technical Education, which is quite similar to what's going on today. All of the CTE programs that that are involved in today's event get to put in for certain monies to buy things through what's called the VITEA grant. Vocational Technical Education A, whatever what the A stands for, association maybe, I don't know, I've forgotten. But anyway, we have put in money for that as a grant that I think we have a pretty good shot at. And
Oh,
and,
great.
and what that is buying the equipment to be able to, for students to actually be able to check out and learn on in terms of that DJ thing that you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
And
Yep.
you know, we might have JC teach it. We might have somebody else teach it. You know, it's not a real course yet. You know, when you start a specific class, you have to go through the curriculum committee and all that kind of
Right.
stuff. It takes forever. It's like a year and a half. You know, but in the meantime, JC might teach that on the side, and he might charge some money. I don't know. But eventually, I see that as another course that we can offer within the radio television program.
And would the instructors for that have to be licensed to
Well,
teach and
not
everything
necessarily
too,
a
or-
license. I mean, you know, there are certain qualifications that you have to meet in terms of teaching at the junior college level. Within radio television, I don't know the exact, but
Do you have to have a
you know,
master's?
Well,
or-
no. You don't have to have a master's at all. You've got to have an associate's degree with a certain amount of experience.
Ah.
Or if you have a bachelor's degree, you don't have to have as much experience.
So I could go
If
for
you have
the
a master's degree, you even have to have less experience. If you have a doctor's degree, you have to know nothing at all. You don't have to have worked in the industry at all. In fact, if you have a doctorate degree, I don't think you actually ever have had to actually watch television or listen to radio.
And if you have a doctor's degree and you're in the radio and TV department, you need to see a psychiatrist.
That's right.
You need to know why you've gone all that time to school.
That's
and
right.
You're
That's exactly right. That's exactly
just
right.
to have a radio show.
That's right.
To teach.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah. You know the drill. You know the drill.
I do, but that's incentive for me then to go for the associate's degree,
Sure it
because
is.
then I can always come back.
Absolutely.
You know, when Borgers moves down to San Diego.
That's
or
right.
Whatever.
That's right. Or when he goes to that big radio station in the sky.
Oh
as they say.
God, no. Don't.
One never knows. One never knows. The way he commutes, you know, he's got
I don't
that
know how
crazy
he does
commute.
it. I don't
Yeah.
know how he
I
does
know.
it.
You know.
I could take maybe a month of that.
You know what's funny though, and we're talking about an adjunct professor that actually commutes from Long Beach, where we're coming live from now, down to San Diego to work in a PBS station down there. Right, not a PBS, but a.
Well, it is more or less. It's a college radio
Well,
station,
yeah,
but they have to
it's-
raise money.
I think it's part of
Yeah.
NPR or
Yeah.
something, right?
Yeah.
The jazz station down in San Diego. What's funny, you mentioned his commute. He's a lot easier to get in touch with now because he's always in his car, so he always answers his phone. You know, I mean, in the past I'd call him. He's out doing something else.
Really?
You know, and he doesn't have his phone, or he doesn't listen to his phone. Now he's got absolutely nothing to do except listen for his phone.
We can make sure
'Cause he's
that
in the
Mr.
car.
Borgers does not watch this.
Yeah, that's right. Always in his car. Always in his car. Which is perfect.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Really. It's a nice car. I think the third one he's had.
Yeah.
since
Well,
he-
it takes a lot of
commuting.
it takes a lot of cars just to get down to San Diego. Yeah, not every car in the world's going to make it down there.
No, really.
I mean, I've had
Really.
some cars that just about make it from Long Beach to the slums of Newport Beach, where I live. You know, and that's tough. But San Diego's even much farther.
The slums of Newport Beach. There are no slums in Newport Beach. I've been to Newport Beach. There's no slums. What is nice is the Hermosa Beach.
Hermosa Beach is great. Sure. Yeah.
Every Thanksgiving, a buddy of mine, his aunt, lives like a block from the ocean, and we have our Thanksgiving dinner out in her front yard, and you can see the ocean, the waves coming in, and everything. You
Ooh,
know,
that's cool.
and then we always walk down to the boardwalk and do our annual group picture shot.
Yep.
And we have to do it before the sun, as the sun's coming down, because we do a group shadow picture against this brick wall that's there. All you see are different shapes of people on their shadows, you know,
Oh,
doing
okay.
different
Oh, I see what
poses.
you're saying. Sure.
And we go, this is our group picture.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you don't see any faces, but
Yeah, yeah.
you just see shadows.
Yeah.
But it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, you're taking advantage of that Southern California lifestyle.
yeah, if I
Yeah.
ever win the lottery, man, I'm getting a house on the boardwalk of Hermosa Beach.
There you go. Well, you got to play to win.
Yeah.
So you got to get out there and pick those
do.
numbers. So what are the numbers you pick? I mean, no, I'm not looking for the winning numbers, but I mean, do you
Believe me, my
do you use
numbers are not
birthdays?
the winning numbers. I'm still
well, that's
there.
that's
I,
true. That's
I
true.
do. I pick
So you play the same numbers all the time.
I do.
Yeah.
The same 5 numbers every week, every day for Fantasy 5.
Yeah.
I've won four numbers out of 5 twice, and I think the most it paid off was
4 out of 5. That's not bad.
It paid out like $405.
Oh yeah, I've won $10 on some of that stuff.
Yeah,
as well.
the 3. If you get 3, then it's anywhere from like $10 to $18 or whatever. Oh man.
Yes, it's too bad that the
Sorry, distraction. A model
Yeah.
just walked by.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
It's like that dog that gets distracted by squirrels.
Yeah.
Squirrel.
That's right.
Model.
Yeah, it's too bad cameras, like real television cameras, aren't like cell phones where you can just hit a button and it sees the reverse.
Really.
Because we really needed that reverse button on that camera to be able to see that model walk by.
I wish there was a way to walk around with this, but there's so many wires plugged into that camera.
Right. Well, maybe we'll think about that next time, because I thought about that and how to make it live. There are certain, there are cell phones.
They must have
and
wireless.
Oh, sure they do.
hookups
Absolutely.
too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to look into that for our next CTE event.
When we order the satellite truck for IE News,
We have a satellite truck for IE News? Oh, you mean when we get that satellite for IE News?
Yeah.
Yes.
Won't that be in the grant?
I was confused for a second. I'd rather a senior moment when you're talking about a satellite truck for IE News. So a satellite truck? I never knew about any satellite truck. No one ever told me about a satellite truck.
So we can go out and do remote news
Yeah,
stories.
yeah. No one informed me we actually had a satellite truck. I was scared there for a second, but I feel better now. I feel better now.
No, to get one.
Yes,
To get
yes.
this stuff.
Future, just talking about something in the future. That's great.
Brain dead. How long have I been doing this? I'm not used to.
Yeah.
2 hours and 15 minutes I've been talking nonstop. My voice is going.
Well, let's check the clock. It's 6 o'clock, so we have about an hour and a half to go.
Yep.
It's
So when
all
you hear
downhill.
me,
downhill
on
from
my
here.
radio show on Monday, and I sound like this, it's because of this man.
That's right. There's always a reason. There's always a reason. But you're a better man for doing it.
It's not because I went out partying Sunday night after
That
the
has
parade.
Absolutely nothing to do with it. So is there a parade on Sunday?
Yes, Gay Pride.
Gay Pride Parade.
This is a Gay Pride weekend in Long Beach. Long Beach City College is representing the college in a contingent, I guess you would call it,
really?
in the parade. Yeah, they sent out an email today. Anybody that wants to march with them and support, to please come down to that location and join.
Do they have some sort of float?
Yes,
Really?
they did last year. In fact, because it was I think it was before I was going to start the summer courses.
Okay.
Of my first time coming to City College, and I'm walking down to meet.
You took RTV1 over the summer, didn't you?
No, I
did you
took
take
it
one
last
of them?
semester.
Oh, okay.
But walking down, all of a sudden there's this float with this big Long Beach City College banner and everything, and I said, "Can I get a picture on this?" I said, "I'm going to start school there, and I want it for motivation." And she said, "Sure, And I didn't know that they had participated in the Pride Parade, but they did. I guess some actor is the Grand Marshal, some actor from Orange is the New Black.
Okay.
I never watched the show. I can't afford.
Oh, that's one of those pay-per-view jobs?
Yeah, one of those subscription.
Yeah. If it doesn't fit it, if it's not part of my Netflix subscription or my Amazon Prime subscription, I don't watch it.
Right.
A lot of times someone will tell my wife about a new new show that's on HBO. And I tell them we have 2 services and that's it. I'm not going to a third.
Right.
So I don't watch that stuff. If it's not, Netflix is I don't know where the money goes to, so I consider that free. I know I get charged every month for it. Same thing with Amazon Prime. I'm sure I get charged money for that, but it's the mentality is that both of those streaming services are free to me.
Right.
And they're
right.
really not. But the other problem is, HBO. The perception is, gee, I got to spend a lot of money, and that lot of money could be 99 cents.
Right.
You know?
Well, I found I have.
I'm not paying that 99 cents.
I have Frontier Cable, and they just tried to raise my bill almost $200 a month. I need the internet. I need that.
Well, here's what you
I'm
should
never
do.
home to watch TV anymore anyway.
Here's what you should do. You've already got an internet connection in your house.
Right.
You already pay what for your internet connection. Right. How much
Well,
is that?
I bought a Roku box.
Oh,
finally.
okay. Well, then on Roku, then you can get the Netflix
Yeah.
and you can get that stuff.
Yeah.
Or if you want to watch the broadcast channels or some cable channels, then you can get a streaming service like YouTube TV.
Oh.
I have YouTube TV. It costs me $40 a month,
Uh-huh.
and I can see all that other stuff that you have to pay, like $120 a month.
It's ridiculous.
You know, you can see channels. You can see the broadcast channels. What are the broadcast channels again?
247
245
79 11 13.
I taught him well. He learned that in RTV1 in the introduction to
like-
broadcasting.
Oh my! Oh, and on Petkey's last quiz,
Yeah.
quiz number 4, I only missed one. I got 103. I was so proud of myself. The
103.
third one, that third quiz, oh my God, that was killer.
103 sounds more like a temperature, like you're sick or something. It doesn't sound like a.
I
like
was
a
sick
quiz
because
test.
I missed one of the true false. But
But I'll do it to you every time. But yeah, if you go with some sort of streaming service like YouTube TV, it's a whole lot cheaper. And that's what I do.
when you select instructors for
Yes.
your department,
Yes.
do you go by just their education and their knowledge, or do you like test out their personalities and
Well, it's
Two?
it's hard to judge personalities initially because the people you're looking at for these positions, everything's on paper.
right, and they're trying to act different too when
Yeah,
you first
and
meet them?
and they're it's very difficult. My criteria is someone that has worked in the industry, because I don't think academia is the ideal background for what we do. If you're teaching math and you're teaching science and you're teaching English and you're teaching sociology, all of those what I would call traditional boring college courses.
Right.
You need somebody that's entrenched in the world of academia, and someone that actually probably knows how to teach us those topics. But I look for someone because I came from the industry, and I think it's really important to bring the qualities of actually going to Hollywood or going to New York or wherever that professional experience that person got. It could be anywhere in the country. It just so happens that New York and LA are the two biggest areas to
Right,
to
right.
do that. But that to me is paramount and a lot more important than the academia part of teaching.
Because I've noticed the chemistry of all the instructors that I've met so far.
Right.
Everybody seems to gel together, even
Sure.
the students with the instructors, like Petkey, Nor, you,
Right.
Borgers.
Yeah.
It's just, that's why I wondered if there was some other little aspect or was it just luck?
Well, no, I mean,
You know?
look. There's always, no matter what we do in life, there's some sort of luck involved. There's no question about that. But no, I've made it a very conscientious effort to try to figure that out and do what's best for the department. Now, I mean, there are some instructors, to be nameless, that are within the department that aren't that great, that I'm kind of moving away from. But it's a lot easier, I think, for radio, television, and for the entertainment business to hire people that are really good at what they do within their industry, and then show them or teach them or explain to them how to be able to give that knowledge to students. I
Right.
think that's the easier part. Then trying to find somebody that's like a great teacher and has all these educational degrees and maybe has a master's or a doctorate, and it's really, on paper looks like they really know what they're doing, but they can't relate to any of the students, so that's not good. So finding Bob Hirsch is very, very difficult. I say that tongue in cheek, but
Right. But it's true. It's true.
I want to find people, and I've been successful so far. I'd like to be a little bit more successful in finding instructors that are really keen on the industry, and then explain to them how to teach that and how to do all that professorial type stuff. It's really hard. It's really hard.
Oh, I'm sure it
It's
is.
hard because I'm going through that right now. We've got one class in the fall, RTB 14, which is
Right.
field
I'm
production.
signed up for.
Yeah, and we need an instructor for that. So, I would like to find, my ideal candidate who just gave me a no, unfortunately, is a shooter for Inside Edition. So, he and I have worked together on other television shows. When I directed Geraldo, he was the shooter on Geraldo. He was in charge of going out and doing all the behind-the-scenes type videos for Geraldo, and then he would bring them back to the studio and he would edit those together as a package.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Yeah, I know it's perfect, but and I thought he was getting to the age where maybe he wanted to do less of that in Hollywood and maybe segue into teaching. People don't know what a great kind of gig this is.
Yeah.
Having worked in Hollywood and it's easy at any profession to kind of start getting burnt out a little bit.
Right.
And certainly, I've gone through burnout and reinvented myself and all that kind of stuff. So I thought maybe he was in that position where, maybe I'll try this teaching thing, But he emailed me back. Actually, he texted me back literally last night, and said something to the effect of, "I'm not ready to take the camera off my shoulder." That's pretty much what he said.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So that's. That just makes it tough to find that person that's
Right.
that's really good at that, and knows all about the latest and greatest cameras, and might want to have the that desire to get into the education part of it.
And it's only one semester a year, right?
Yeah. Well, yes.
So
Right
that'd
now.
be like 3 months.
Yeah.
Take a
Yeah.
Take a sabbatical, dude.
Yeah. Well,
for
wouldn't
3
that be
months.
nice? I know.
Just 3 months.
I
Come
know.
help us out at Long Beach
Yeah.
City College.
Yeah.
You know, you can go back with the camera on your shoulder after the fall semester.
You'll always have a shoulder. You'll always have a shoulder.
yeah.
Yeah, you can, and once you're finished, you can use that shoulder to cry on, as opposed to hold the camera, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's tough. And so I went through the database, and the database, oh my gosh, going through, you have to, first of all to get a job within education, or probably anywhere, right?
Right.
You've got to have your resume and your application into human resources, right? Or better known as HR. So I go into HR, and I've got a certain, it's called NeoGov, and it's a certain area within HR that has all these resumes. So I go in and look at all these things, and
Is that because they've gone through a database, or just because they've turned it into?
because they have physically turned them into the HR database.
Oh, okay.
And that database is has to do with broadcast. There's one database, broadcast technology they call it. And there's another database for specifically radio, television, and there's another database for film. So I go through those three databases because you never know where you're going to find the next person, right?
Right,
I mean,
right.
it could be film, where a guy or gal is been working on a film set for a couple of years, and or as a shooter, as a camera person, and they know all about those cameras, and wouldn't it be great to to hire that person? So, but it's just it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy for me to do all that stuff,
Now, will they be?
I'm just complaining about that part of it.
But will they be covering like the sporting events, or
No.
or
Well,
is that class?
they may,
in addition?
but the specific requirement at this point is finding someone that knows ENG cameras, which is electronic news
gathering.
which is
I learned that from this man.
Yep.
too.
The small cameras. So getting somebody specifically to be able to teach that class.
I see.
What else happens down the road where that person can teach? Who knows?
And is it just to learn the knowledge, or will they actually be going out in the field and?
Well, I think they'll be teaching students how to run the cameras.
Right.
Everything from white balancing to setting the camera up to doing all that kind of stuff, and how to shoot specific, how to shoot a story, and all that kind of thing.
And then maybe covering special events off campus.
Right. Sure. Yeah. And they can check the cameras out like
I'm
like
so
you
glad
well know.
I'm taking that
Yeah.
class.
Oh yeah, and the cameras are great, as you well know. You've
Yeah.
worked with some of those cameras. So getting somebody to to teach all that stuff and to do it in the right way and with enough experience and all that kind of good stuff is hard. But I'll make it happen. hopefully towards the end of the semester, which we're coming up on, we'll do some interviews, and then we have to rate them and all that kind of good stuff.
Now, will you be?
And you never know. Again, when I was talking about seeing, all these people on paper,
Right.
You see it on paper, but you have no idea what they're gonna, what their personality's like.
Now, will you be teaching RTV1 during the summer,
I'll
or
be teaching.
somebody else?
I'll be teaching RTV1 during the summer. That's right. Yep. I'll be
Oh.
teaching in a face-to-face, which is the traditional way to learn that we all kind of grew up with a teacher in front of the class and the students sitting in seats, and you have that eye contact and all that.
Take
stuff.
his class. Take his RTV1 class.
Yeah, I've got
Well,
a
I can't say what I wanted to say.
Well,
about
yeah, I've got
when
kind
the
of a-
test comes.
So I've got a reputation for being kind of easy, but you know what? I don't mind
But
that.
you learn so much. You really do. He makes it fun, and you don't have to be there forever, it seems. Like a lot of classes that you take, you get in, he does his job, and you go home.
That's right.
And you learn, and the
Well,
week.
yeah.
This part I can't tell. The week before the test, there's 3 tests,
There's 3 tests.
and
yes.
if you get an A on all 3 tests, then you don't have to take the final. A week before the test, he goes over the entire test. If you take notes, just pay attention when he gives those notes. The week before, you'll get an A on every test. I did. If I can do it, anybody can do it. See, if I can do it, anybody can do it, I swear. I've never been good at taking notes, but he goes over everything. And even asks it in a question form, a lot of them, to see if we know it
Yeah.
by then,
Yeah.
He's cranking that music up louder, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, it's too bad that math doesn't work that way.
oh really?
But see, but that's another reason. I keep things as simple and straightforward as I can, because
Right.
I know students are having a hard time with math and some with English, but I hear the math stories all the time. I mean, my son is pushing 40, and he's taken he finally transferred to Cal State from a JC where we're at, and the stumbling block for the longest time was math. The longest time.
God, I can so
you know.
relate.
And I don't know how he satisfied that requirement. He did something. I mean, you should look into this. Something to do with the Disability Center got him through math, where he didn't have to take as much math as he thought he would.
Well, I've
It
heard.
was I don't know how he worked that out, but it worked out obviously to his advantage, because he was able to transfer. Now he's doing well because he doesn't have to worry about math anymore.
So, tell us about your program.
Sure. With computer technology, we cover all different areas in technology, right? So, for example, a class I teach, COSA 50, Intro to IT Concepts and Applications. It's kind of like the sampler class, right? So we teach all sorts of different stuff like basic hardware, basic networking, basic security, Microsoft Office, especially Access and Excel. 2 of the most important things that businesses especially use, whether you want to work in the office or maybe you want to run your own business, right? So we cover all of those things, and then from there you can branch off into different areas, like whether it's computer hardware, whether it's in different facets of in our technology program.
So, do you produce IT experts, like big businesses when their computers go down? Call IT. Call IT.
Absolutely,
Are you the guys
yes.
that show up?
Yes, that's what we do, right? That's what we
I
do.
would love to take that class. I would love to learn that, just because the way I do it, it's trial and error.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I gotta set Windows back to before I did this,
Yeah.
so it'll come up again,
Yeah.
Which, believe it or not, I must have some knowledge in the back of my head that I was never taught.
Right.
Because lately, I haven't had the blue screen of death in. Knock on wood. I know I'll go home and I'll turn my laptop on and it'll
Yeah.
blue, But through trial and error, But I would love to take that class.
Yeah.
Is it just a semester course, or is it?
So we offer COSA 50. That's one of the classes. We also offer other different classes like COSA 30. That's Intro to Computers. That's actually geared toward a specific digital literacy certification called the IC3. So that's basically like a stepping stone, right?
Okay.
And then for beginners, we have a 1-unit class called COSA 1. Computer information competency, right? And that gives you a certificate of accomplishment. So there's different levels, regardless if you have a computer background or not, you can take any one of these classes with us in our department. But yeah, going back to what we said with COSA 50, yeah, that actually preps you. If you're going into IT, you actually have the background skills. Let's say if you want to fix your own hardware later on, if you want to get into cybersecurity. I know that here at CTE Night, we actually have a cybersecurity booth down there. So if you're watching this live right now on YouTube, come on down to PCC, come to CTE Night. We're here for maybe another hour or so, and come check out what we have.
Definitely do it. It's Pacific Coast Highway, where Orange Avenue meets PCH, and we are going to be here till 8. Some people have closed down. The food people.
Yeah, hey,
they're always the ones early leavers.
You know what they say? Early bird gets the worm. Yeah.
They arrive late with the food and they leave early when it's all gone. Are there other requirements that you would have to take before you could take COSA 50?
For all of our classes, we have some recommended classes, but no prerequisites.
Oh, great!
So depending on your skill level, if you just need to take a couple of classes, you're more than welcome to register. Right.
Awesome.
So no prerequisites here at COS.
Oh, that's awesome, people! You heard it.
Yeah.
Heard it here from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
I guess. Sorry, it's been a long day. I'm losing
hear
my
ya.
voice. I have my radio show to do on Monday. Do they care? No, they don't care.
I hear
I
ya.
got drafted. I was supposed to be stage managing for Jammin' Live at LAC campus, and I happened to go out the wrong door when I was going home on Wednesday. Run into Mr. Hirsch and Mr. Borges, and you're just the man we wanted to talk to. No, I know what that means.
I hear ya.
I know
hear
what
ya.
that means.
Hey, but it's all good though, right? It's all good.
I've had a blast. I have had a blast today, and interviewing even Mr. Hirsch, I learned a lot from doing it. And Anthony Pagan, what a great guy.
Yes.
You got a good team watching out for you guys, the whole CTE department and everything. You've got a good man in that Anthony Pagan.
Absolutely.
He's got a lot of great ideas.
Yep.
And he's a nice guy too,
Yep.
You don't find that often where somebody has a lot of great ideas and they're a nice guy on top of it, And I can see the stuff that has taken place just in the short time I've been coming here. It'll be a full year that I've attended. Starting last summer, I took 3 courses, and then in the fall and then spring, and I've seen a lot of good changes starting to happen, which is encouraging, because prior to that, it's like I started last fall and I'm going, oh man, what did I get myself into, but no, it's been great. And to get in the radio and TV department, oh man, that was like a dream come true that I didn't know I had, It's like I was saying earlier, I was going into medical assistant, but I couldn't cut it. The vocabulary, medical terminology, oh my God, and they kept saying, you want to make sure it doesn't just stick in your short-term memory, that it goes into your long-term memory. I'm going, I can't even get it to stick in my short-term memory. How the heck am I going to get it in the long-term memory, And was going to drop all the classes, and I had a huge, major panic anxiety attack Labor Day weekend last year. And I thought, well, I've already gotten my financial aid. I can't just drop and, I'll be responsible for a lot of money. And started going through the catalog, and came across a communications class that I took because I've done some public speaking. And then I used to be a professional actor in my early 20s when I lived in New York and everything. And I thought, this ought to be easy. I'm the kind of guy, if it's if that seems like it's going to be easy, I'm going to go that way. But it hasn't. It's been hard. I had to really work to get my 4.0 and keep it, you know. But it's been worth it at my age even, you know. Anything else you want to tell us about your department?
So we have a booth right over here with all of our different programs. We're actually right next door to you guys, and it's not just with computer technology. As a matter of fact, we have these flyers that are out here. We also have other programs within COS, including computer science, computer security, and networking. And then again, as I mentioned, computer technology, just a sampler of some of the things that we do here in COS. And if you have any questions about computer technology or even any of the other programs, you can contact me. My email address is jalmeida@lbcc.edu. I have a website at jpalmeida.com. I have videos
Plug it
on
away,
YouTube.
man.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Seriously, take your time doing it.
branding, right?
Do it slow so that they get every word. you know.
jpalmeida.com, right? JPALMEDA.com.
The slower you go, the less I have to talk. So we're helping each other out here.
Exactly. but I want to go back to your story because it's really interesting what you shared, because as a matter of fact, this is something that I actually went through before I started teaching in computer technology. You might not know this, but I started out as a biology major, right?
whoa.
So medical assistant, biology, you know, we're kind of almost in that same area. And it was one of those things where I thought I liked it when I was in college, and you know, you think you like it, or maybe if you're a student watching this, or somebody who's anyone watching this, right? Maybe you have parents or
You think you're passionate about it?
right. You think you're passionate about it. Maybe your family, friends, they kind of pressure you, saying, "Hey, you know, go to school, be a doctor, or you know, be this or that," and you think you like it, and then it doesn't work out, right? You know, maybe it's not what you thought you liked. You know, it's not too late, right?
It's never too late.
Let me ask you: is this something you really love doing?
Oh, yes, and
See?
it was like it was meant to be.
Right.
I was meant to have that panic anxiety attack on Labor Day weekend because I was so passionate about getting into the medical assisting because I was telling Anthony I wanted to get certified, state certified, so that I could do HIV, STI testing and counseling. You know, and I mean, I was gung ho on that and everything until that first week of school, and then the whole picture changed. You know, it was like the rose-colored glasses came off, and I had a severe panic anxiety attack because I didn't know what I was going to do, you know. And went through the catalog, and I figured, well, I used to be a professional actor. I've spoken in classes out at Cal State Long Beach. How could that be much different, you know? And plus, I'll be learning the technical part of the radio and television too, which has been a blast. I've gotten to operate those big studio cameras, you know. It's just, I've gotten to go out and cover a lot of things, you know, to bring back, to have edited for our IE News, and it's really been it's been a dream come true that I didn't really know I had, you know, like a subconscious type dream. And I encourage anybody out there. Long Beach City College is one of the best community colleges you can come to. I know it's a little difficult if you're in the LA area because of the Blue Line situation for 9 months, but I just decided I wasn't going to go to LA for 9 months, you know. I happened to go up I had to go to a memorial gathering for a friend the first day that they shut down the Blue Line. And it took me 2.5 hours to get from Long Beach to Hollywood.
Wow.
2.5 hours. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
you know,
that's-
and because it started on a weekend day, they don't put the express buses on.
Yeah.
So you stop at every single stop, you know, and it takes them forever to get from one stop to the next. It was a nightmare. And June 1st, they're opening up this section, but then they're closing from Willowbrook
Right.
up to 7th and Metro off for 5 months.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, sometimes I wonder about the way government, local city government runs things, you know? It's-
Yeah.
But don't get me started. I don't want to have to read that disclaimer again, that my points of view may not match those of our producers
But hey, that
or
was,
the station.
Yeah. But hey, that was an awesome story you shared.
Yeah.
And you know, I've heard other stories. I mean, I have my own story too. Like I said, you know, things didn't work out for me in the biological sciences, and I say, hey, you know, I'm kind of fixing computers for friends here. You know, let me just kind of give this a try. And I had a really good friend who introduced me to her school and what she was doing. She was teaching an international school,
Oh,
right?
wow.
And she said, hey, you know, come on by, see what we do. And then little did I know that was my calling right there, and said, hey, you know, this is something I could do, right? And then it just kind of went from there. You know, I figured, hey, you know, let me see what community college, let's see how that's like.
Yeah.
And you know, Long Beach City College, that was my big break, right? And then I figured, you know, let's see where the semester goes, and
Yeah.
hey, the rest, you know what they say, the rest is history.
Yeah.
The rest is history. So
And-
yeah.
Everything happens for a reason. I know at the time that a certain incident may happen. You don't see it that way, but you will eventually see that that is true.
Yeah.
It's so true. You know, I don't know what I actually believe in. I believe in a higher power, you know.
Yeah.
But I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. You know, animals and people are put in our lives for a reason.
Right.
And we may not see it at the time. We may not see it after, but eventually we will, you know.
Eventually we will.
It's like my dog. I had her for 13 years. She was a year old when we adopted her. Got her from a rescue. She had had 4 owners her first year of her life. They kept turning her back, returning her. And she was meant to be my dog. That's why she had to go through 4 rejections, living with the people for a week or whatever, you know, or a month, and they didn't want her. She was meant to be my dog. I know it for a fact. I loved that dog. I'm gonna start crying because it was a sad day when she passed away. Oh. I'm sorry? Oh, go through that door over there, out the back door, turn to your left, and then you kind of have to walk around in an angle, and you'll see a men's room over there. Okay. Anyway, I can be of help.
We're the first people that, hey, you know, can you help us out here?
All the
Yeah, there you
people,
go. Yeah,
all the
yeah.
people to ask where the restroom is, they ask the one that's YouTube streaming live.
Yep.
And here, miss your Emmy. Is there any questions I can hopefully help? Radio and television, are you interested? Okay, let me give you one of these first. This back here tells you radio and television. Are you a student already with the Long Beach City College or no? I'm sorry? Okay. Go on the website, lbcc.edu. You're going to plan to start. Don't leave. You're going to plan to start in the fall? Okay.
Computer technology.
Pick fall semester. Then it'll give you the
the flyer, Just
alphabet.
Just this one.
Click on the R. It'll take you to radio and television.
I got it. I'm good.
And that'll show you the courses that are going to be available for the fall. And you can sign up now. Be sure and sign up now. There's a lot of great courses. Head of our department, our instructor was here. He could answer any questions that you have. But definitely, you want to be on camera, don't you?
You can have
How
my
did
seat.
I know?
You can have my
How
seat right
did
now.
I know? You'll be very good on camera. You will. Next semester, they won't have broadcast news. We're doing that right now. That would be a good one for you. There's also a class called On-Camera Performance that you should definitely take. You want to start? Are you thinking of majoring in that?
I wanted not majoring, but
Okay. Performer singing? Oh, awesome. We have a class that is music videos. Producing, filming, producing, editing, and putting out your own music video. What better way for you, Mr. Hirsch? I have a candidate for you. She wants to get into radio and television. Talk to this man. He's the head of the department.
So yeah, that was an awesome story you shared. But the other thing I tell my students too, I say, hey, look, you gotta walk through that door.
Yeah.
You gotta walk through that door every day. Every day you come here to Long Beach City College, it's you make that decision to come through that door, and it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. It's not gonna be easy, right?
Yeah.
And
You may have to give up your social life, which I found out this semester especially.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's at 13 units. Next semester, I'm signed up for 17.
Oh.
So it's like,
Hey, but commencement's right around the corner.
I'll see you at the end of the fall semester.
So I got real quick, for those who's just joining us, my name's Professor Almeida, and I'm with the Computer and Office Studies Department, and I have some goodies right here. Right, we're just next door right here. So if you haven't, if you're watching this live right now, live worldwide streaming, come on out to CTE Night. We're here at Long Beach City College Pacific Coast Campus. So this is the computer technology program. I'm the lead person for this. So if you've got any questions about this program, my contact information is on the Long Beach City College website. That's lbcc.edu. You can also reach me at jpalmeida.com. That's my website. And if you have any questions about the kind of things that we offer here, these are actually the classes. And what's cool is we actually have a roadmap, right? How cool is
And
that?
is it ALMEDA?
ALMEDA, right? So we got a nice little roadmap right here of all the classes. Hey,
I get
feel
these.
free. Feel
I want
free.
these.
There you go.
Because like 17 units isn't enough. Maybe I should throw in some computer courses too.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go off in that direction after I've finished with radio and television. You have certificate programs.
Yes, we do. So
How
we
many
have.
certificates do you offer?
Oh wow. Trying to remember all of them off the top of my head.
Approximately how many?
We actually have. Hey, real quick, can I get that, please? Thanks. See, this is the beauty of being right
Live
next door.
TV.
See, right here, we're here. So we
You
have.
couldn't have a better neighbor.
Exactly. So we have several certificates of accomplishment. We offer them anything from Android app development to business digital literacy. So for that one, I teach COSA 1, computer information competency. It's a 1-unit class. Right there already, business digital literacy. Boom! You get you pass the class and get a certificate of accomplishment. Computer hardware technician. Right, need 2 classes. COSA 50. So if you're business, if you're thinking of going into business or maybe even computer technology, right here, and then you take a hardware class, get your A+ certificate. Boom! Now you can fix hardware. Maybe you can even do that as a side hustle. Yeah. Right? Go fix some computers for some friends or get some clients.
How many computers did you fix for friends that you did it free? That you were afraid to tell them. Dude, can you at least give me $20 to pay for the stuff I have?
Too many, I tell you.
I know.
Too many,
I
tell
have a
you.
friend. I have a friend that was doing that. His whole house was computer parts all over the room. It's like, well, I know I got your computer here somewhere.
Yeah, I hear
Would
ya.
$20 help you find it faster?
$20. Hey, at least bring me some food or something.
Really,
Yeah.
really.
Bring me food, some drinks. Which, by the way, I hear that somewhere in the AA building, I hear they've got some food and drinks up there. But hey, you didn't hear from me.
Are you kidding me?
You didn't hear from me though.
Are you kidding me?
If he's watching this, he's
Here.
gonna.
Mr. Almeida's going to take over for a few minutes while I go to the AA building.
So yeah, come on down to CT Night. You could also get this online at lbcc.edu/COS, and we We have all of our programs listed on there. Even if I've got it right here, my little cheat sheet on the mobile site, right? Got it right here, computer technology. So even if you just have it on your smartphone, just go on to lbcc.edu/COS. So yeah.
Wow. Thank you,
Hey,
sir. I
anytime,
appreciate it. And
anytime.
you got rid of the ant.
We got rid of
infestation.
we took care of the ant situation.
I realized I had food in my bag, and I thought,
Yeah.
oh, I better pick up my
Oh,
bag.
they're quick. They're quick. Hey, good
All right.
talking to you.
Thanks again.
All right,
man.
thank you. Anytime,
All right.
anytime.
All right. Okay, there you have it. Professor Almeida in the cost department. Check it out. If maybe radio and television isn't your field you want to go into, computer and office is, do it. Go back to school. I never thought I'd be the person to encourage people to go back to school, especially at my age. But yeah, it's kicked my butt, like I said. But it's been so much fun. And the